here we have a sheet. This is the same for everyone, which is the sheet for the mechanics of, and I want you to look at the top box, which shows us the scenes.
Yeah.
So the important thing is that we just play like normal. It's not all these different kinds of scenes don't mean anything, except that sometimes I will say you have a choice, and I will name a path of yours or a concession, and you have to pick.
You will name a path or a concession.
Correct. No, I will give you a choice of two.
Oh, okay.
And or any of your books. I will name two things.
All right.
And then you say, well, I want that one.
All right.
And then I will go into the fictional version of what is happening.
All right.
For that one. And the interesting thing is when you choose a concession, you get a point of resolve. It should say that there in the table.
That gains saga or...
Right. So if you choose a path, you get saga.
Yeah.
If you choose a concession, you get resolve.
Yeah.
The only thing you really need to know is that saga will become your way to make your character more powerful. You will get more abilities, more points to spend on things and stuff like that. Resolve you use to claim a rest. Because you see, you have to pay for a rest with resolve. And the rest is the only way you can recover.
And heal.
Yeah. So I will just keep doing terrible things to you. And if you don't choose any concessions, you'll never get to rest, and you will just reground down and down and down.
But you got an extra resolve if you did either a path or a concession with a vice.
It's I reviewed that with the new rules, and it's extra saga for a path, extra resolve.
Right.
It still stays with its proper approach.
All right.
So that's really the one thing you need to know is to say, all right, do I want to take a concession or a path? Now, that means we need to have some pretty good books. This is a little sheet for your character that specifically focuses on your abilities and what they do. And that way we don't have to flip through tables or anything like that.
Nice.
So that means, so all the things that are special, hey, look at his sheet compared to yours.
Oh,
I know.
And the red.
Well, the red is important because White God's Embrace does not apply to you.
Shade bonus to know.
You don't have malversation. So therefore, that particular blight doesn't mean anything to you.
Oh.
So you need a real blight.
Oh.
So we have to give you a new blight, and that's why it's in red.
That's the one I rolled to, right?
Yes, correct.
We're rolling the same table again, but
right, and see what happens.
That choice.
Yeah.
I have to say, I like the part that any player may activate to gain 1 XP. You must roll play for its negative effect, and I cannot rest until it's been activated.
That's
I must be sad to
right.
rest.
Exactly.
It sounds
so.
weird.
Any of your blights, another player can make you do.
Oh.
Wait, what did he say?
For any of your blights,
yep,
another player may make you do it. If I may not be doing the rule exactly right, but I think it is correct. That what will happen if for his sadness, for your whatever it is we roll, the dark taken one, and then what's the other one? Paranoia.
Paranoia.
Okay, so at any point you would say now's a good time for you to be paranoid, and he says, "Oh, good," because now he is going to be allowed to rest eventually.
Yeah.
So you are prompting him to do it. Of course, you should pick times to do it when it is kind of fun.
Yeah. How about her?
Well, she has no blight.
No, so
she
doesn't have that problem.
Right. So you just call for a rest. You have to pay for it with resolve, but you can just call for a rest and take it. And also, I will tell you just a little bit more about what I had in mind for these blight situations, these path and books situations. For example, Nate, I think for your character, a very good path would be that you remember one of your songs, or you're reminded, or something causes you to remember one of your old songs from when you were a minstrel.
All right.
Because your character is unusual, because most of your memory and self has been burned away.
Yeah.
But you do have all those old upbringings and things still apply. And so, and they have some mechanical effects. And it seems to me as though if you're going to play a burned man, then it's his past that matters the most.
Yeah.
So that's why we are going to do books that have a little bit to do with your path.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to take what you already wrote, that I'm going to phrase it a little differently.
Right.
That for the concession, the burned cult says, "Kill this man
All right.
or person."
Yeah,
Because in other words, you say, "Aha, there's my target."
yeah.
Right. And so that's a concession that you may choose.
Yeah.
And then
Sounds very fun.
and so that's a path and a concession for you that I think makes a lot of sense. I will go to each person with one of each to see. Now, Camila, I liked a lot of what you said last time.
Okay.
You said a concession would be weakening your tribe somehow.
Yes.
And I was thinking about your character. It helps that I listened to the recording, again to edit it. But the point is that it would weaken the tribe if you, in English, sold them out. In other words, you did something that brought them closer to interacting with civilization rather than keeping them pure. So some way that you are offered, you don't have to do it. Remember, this is a situation.
Yes.
It would be offered an opportunity to help your tribe, but they would become more civilized to do it. That's a good concession for your character.
Is it the point with the path and possession that they're supposed to be very specific?
Yes.
Okay.
But you notice that it says nothing about exactly what kind of opportunity or who did it, or in his case, who the target, who the victim is.
Yes.
All of those are still left vague to be adapted into our situation, depending on what happens. Because since it's your choice, I cannot say, as the game master, which of these actually will occur. I can't plan like a program. So I have to adapt them into whatever is happening.
Yes.
So it's your choice to say, aha, this is the perfect time for this problem. So let's do it. Oh, another concession that I thought was also something you may have said was that a situation where you might injure or overtire your horse.
Yes.
Right. So those are two concessions for you that work very, very well.
Yes.
So we have a path for you based on something we talked about. Remember how we talked about there was this totem, this sacred object for your tribe? No? It's something I mentioned at the end. Okay. Well, the idea that I had was for part of the situation we are in, why we are even in this city, this old ruin, is because there is an ancient item, sacred item, religious item for your tribe that has long been lost.
Okay.
And that you have learned where it may be. And so that's something you are looking for here.
Okay.
So that could be a path. One of the nice things about that is that it's not my problem to make up where it is. All you have to, I can say to you, hey, do you want to take that path? And you say, why, yes, I do. So something like that. So those are some ideas for paths and concessions.
Didn't you have a lot of paths?
Yeah.
I think we all made paths.
Well, they were a little bit
Too big.
I have given some thought and read what he said, so that's why I'm being kind of pushy about them right now. Ordinarily, that's the one place where I'm not supposed to be pushy. But I think for the first time, while we learn how to do them, you don't have to take exactly what I said. I'm just giving you ways to think about them. For your character,
Yeah, mine was.
well, I think a major issue is the clue to the old conspiracy that you were confused in, you were wrapped up in. We don't know anything about that right now. So it's a good idea for, if you want that to be part of your character's play experience, then make it the path. Some of the conspiracy is revealed.
Yeah.
Your character is kind of all over the place, so I don't know if you still consider yourself a merchant, for example. Is that how you consider yourself now?
More of a jack of all trades.
Well, you see, the jack of all trades is what we would call the character. What does the character call himself? What does he put his attention in? We might as well stay with the latest upbringing, which is merchant.
No, archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would stay with archer.
Okay. So you come up with a path that represents something to do with whatever it is you want your character to do with archery.
But
you see, use your upbringings. Remember what I'm trying to say
but
is...
the thing that I have used for, I want to find a new spirit animal a new bonded animal because I've
Mhm.
lost mine, and that was becoming an archer or ranger type kind of character was to find it.
Okay. I confess I find the whole bonded animal thing that you're all excited about to be incredibly boring and out of nowhere.
Mm.
I can't understand.
Mm.
I think you should just get what you get on your sheet and use it.
Mm.
Because what we should do is we shouldn't create new problems. Look at the problems we already have from your upbringings. There are a lot.
Mm.
You're sad about something. You were involved in this conspiracy. You were involved in.
Yeah, but that was part of it.
Right.
The death of my animal was part of an anger hatred thing.
Okay.
It was not something that was. It was.
So let me see if I am understanding this better. Maybe I'm having a problem because your original idea was that you left being a shaman long ago.
Yeah.
But now you're all excited about your stupid bonded animal.
No.
Why do you care if you aren't a shaman anymore? So are you saying that you were a shaman, you got used to your bonded animal, and even though you stopped being a shaman?
It's no. The thing was it was killed.
Okay.
That's why I stopped being a
I
shaman.
see. Okay.
And that's why one of my paths is I secretly want to become a shaman again.
I see.
But,
Okay.
But the thing about doing that.
Well, you have to find a new animal to do this with. Okay.
Yes, and that's one of.
All right. I understand
Do
that.
we have to stop being what we have been before?
No, absolutely not. But
Okay.
he had said
I
that
said
he wanted to.
Okay.
Yes.
Especially because his upbringings are so different.
Yes.
With you, it makes perfectly good sense for it all to just be
Okay.
one big story.
Yeah.
But
Because
I can read it, essentially.
yes.
Yeah. Because I stopped the Namco immersion because
Right.
I went from the spiritual to I become
Okay.
very extreme and become
Okay.
assets instead.
Okay. Well, now that we spent a little more time than I wanted, but I would like you to write real paths
Yes.
and concessions so that we know what they are.
That is one of the problems I have because I've read about path and concessions. They are so vague.
I agree that he's still working out what he wants to do with these.
And it becomes so muddled for my taste that I even considered changing the word concession down to maybe even distractions or
You're
kind of
right.
that.
That's what he eventually decided. The rules we read first had a different definition.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to figure out what he wants. He wants them to be alternatives.
Yes.
So it matters.
Yeah.
But what's frustrating is that he also has these vices.
Yeah.
So that puts a whole new layer onto both of them. I personally think he doesn't need the vices because we already have blights in
Yes.
exactly the same spot.
Yeah.
So how much vice and blight do you need? Right? That's a lot of badness on your character. Everybody can choose whatever you want from this list of things.
Yep.
And I don't really feel like making you write it down on your sheet. Effectively, your character can have any of these ordinary gears they want whenever they want.
Okay.
And then, but each of you can have a special item if you want to, which may help with a little bit of your past. And that is done by rolling a die. You may choose from this list or that list, but you have to roll. So do you want to decide? And then try to connect it to your upbringings.
Yeah.
These are ways. I think that's my big issue, is that with all these other choices that you make, like paths and things, go back to the upbringings every time.
That should be something that is stated like from the beginning.
Otherwise, you will make up new shit coming in from wherever.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about just that because I made my last concession. The great risk will become fruitful, or become not fruitful is not the right word, but become I can't remember the word. It will come into fruition.
Right.
It will happen.
Yes.
And that,
should I roll a d6 and choose either of the answers, or do I have to choose a list first and then roll?
It said to choose first and roll.
Okay. Yeah. Number 3. A chunk of a fallen star.
6. Roll again and get a relic on the list of the culture relic list.
Oh my god. Okay, so you have this chunk of a fallen star, and I think that it may carry with it a curse or a sign or enough metal to be used to be... I'm going to make a suggestion. I think that you may have had this for a long time, and you are finally going to bring it back to the place where it fell.
Okay.
and that this is part of, it's connected to the legend of what you are hoping to find here.
Of your cultures, really.
Oh. Okay, so what you will do is roll d10.
4.
You have fine boots trimmed with fur.
That sounds actually kind of reasonable.
Although there was one that was a really nice bow. Yeah.
Oh, that would be more.
I know. The nice thing about relics, I believe, is that you can exhaust them for. You might want to look at the rules for a relic. These are mechanics, so they're not just that you get to wear boots. You get to actually use them for something. At the moment, as I understood it, you can exhaust them to re-roll in some boots situation. Did you roll, Nate?
Yeah, I got a trusted weapon once used but fine.
Ah, well, that seems like just right for
Yeah,
you,
it seems
actually.
like just right.
Okay. And if we want to, we can look at some weapons lists.